Welcome to Black Love Matters, where this serves as a therapy session for figuring out adulthood,
loving each other,
and finding our inner Brock and Michelle.
Or Jay-Z and Beyonce. Or this episode, we're going to do Chanel Iman and Sterling Shepard. You know them Nerums?
Yeah.
Oh, surprisingly. Well, supermodel Chanel Iman and NFL player Sterling Shepard, I didn't know who he was, announced their engagement on Saturday. The couple, who's been dating since January. Pause. What's up with these quick? Is that the norm?
It's cuffing season, baby. This is the time to get married and shit.
Is like 1 year, under a year, enough to be like, I'm ready to get married?
No, but you know.
At this age, they're not even in their 30s, honey.
You got to understand.
And they rich?
You got to understand the culture and the climate we in. It's cuffing season. So if they started dating in January, they feel like they should get married now.
That's quick.
They cuffed. By the summertime, it'll be over.
So do you think they're going to get married? Or do you think they're going to last 2 summers?
I'm just trolling.
I know you're trolling. This Black Love Matter. It's going to last. Both took to Instagram to convey their love for each other. They each posted a copy of the same photo, which shows Sterling down on one knee asking Chanel's hand in marriage. What she said was, a night full of tears of happiness. I'm beyond excited to spend the rest of my life with you, Sterling. You are my soulmate, my best friend, my everything. Can't wait to be your missus, she wrote, before finishing off the post with a diamond ring emoji. Of course, it's the children, it's the millennials. Mm-hmm. It's not official till it's on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. And you ain't into love unless you're using emojis.
Stop.
It also says it's timely as Sterling will finally be returning to the field on Sunday for the New York Giants. He's been operating as one of the leading wide receivers since, I think his name is Odell Beckham Jr., was cut down by injury earlier in the season. And just to let y'all know, if y'all don't know about Chanel Iman Robinson, she's an American model. She's best known for her work as a Victoria's Secret angel. Vogue Paris declared her one of the top 30 models of the 2000s. So she's the black girl. I think she's black and Korean or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or black and a quarter. She Blasian. You know, that's a good combination.
Yeah.
Blasian combination always does well.
Black and Asian do make some good ass kids.
You stupid.
They be making pretty ass kids.
You say pretty. Oh Lord, Nia gonna be like, he know.
You know, they be having that wavy Asian hair.
We're not going to talk about Blasian hair.
They got that wavy, curly Asian hair.
I don't engage in that conversation, and Nia knows why.
And they got that black hair, and they be black, and they had
they be black. Stop.
And they be having an almond round color, almond shaped eyes.
That's how black people look. Did you? You silly. But no, shout out to them. We're excited for them. That's nice young love, I would say. I didn't realize they only dated for a year, though. Under a year. Whew. Would you recommend anyone under the age of 30? I think it's a certain age range for that. So I think if you're in a 45 and up club, you can get married in under the year. But I think if you under 45, child, we at least got to be together for 2 years. We at least got to go through 2 seasons together.
Yeah.
Like 2 full years of shit together.
Mm-hmm. You got to go through 2 cuffing seasons.
Oh, okay. Who's you?
I'm Nero.
And I'm Nyambi.
This is episode 80.
It's 80,
niggas.
Y'all. Happy Monday, y'all. How was your weekend? We only, 3 or 4 weeks away from Christmas? Sleeps? No. Fridays? How was we counting? Mondays. Mondays, because Christmas on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What you give me for Christmas?
None of your business.
Okay.
I thought you said you ain't want nothing but me.
All right, y'all. All I want for Christmas is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And for New Year's, y'all can follow us on that Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Black Love Matters. Remember, that's Black with no K.
Mm-hmm.
And Nerum at Blitter.
Gotcha.
You got to check in?
I do have a check-in. So, Bot Store Chronicles, I'm getting closer and closer to my last day, y'all. Only got a few more days left, and I'm so blessed and highly favored.
Ooh, you only got 2 more podcast episodes till you be done with the box store.
I'm so damn happy. And don't worry, we're going to tell y'all the whole story on that. We're going to bring you a whole update. That might be just a whole episode of like what's going on with Nyambi.
Mm-hmm.
But the box store, the new thing they're driving me crazy with is this idea of bathroom breaks.
Well, people got to pee.
Nope. This is not normal. People go to the bathroom every 5 minutes. I'm like, where are y'all going? I gotta go. Like, and it be emergency. And like, these aren't older people or anything. It's just, what do they be doing? I done had people just walk out in the middle of a guest. I said, oh, were you okay? Where you sit? They say, no, I just needed to go to the bathroom. I wanted to get started. I said, so, and they just told the person to wait there.
Hold that thought. I gotta go piss.
Why don't you? And the thing is not the bathroom. So let's be clear, it's not the bathroom. But why don't you tell someone? So we can just plan accordingly, right?
Yeah.
We can have someone step in for you. We can turn off your light. We can cut your line. Like, just don't walk away. And then, we in white ass New England, so they stupid. So they gonna sit there.
The customers.
And I'm like, is everything okay? Are they getting something for you? Like,
she said she'd be back. She had to go to the bathroom.
And I'm like, what? So that's one thing that's working my nerves. The second thing that's tap dancing on my nerves is it just New England that people don't know how to say excuse me?
It's New England. I would say it's the Northeast.
And I'm not talking about somebody bumped you. So we have lanes that could be close together. So one lane have 5 people and another lane have 2 people. And if you just simply say, excuse me, you can get to what?
The 2 people lane.
And I've told people, I was like, if you go, this lane is open right here. And it was like, is someone there? I can't get by. I said, if you just say, excuse me. I finally said out loud, I was like, it must be a New England thing. Like, all you have to do, I said, where I'm from, you can just say, excuse me. And people usually get out the way. One guy was like, I didn't hear her. Like, and I wasn't even talking to him. I was talking to the other guy. He's like, I didn't hear her say excuse me or anything. But it's like, they want to be hand fed, excuse me, like table manners. And that's why I said, it must be a New England thing. I'm not from here, but where I'm from, you just say excuse me and people tend to get out the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
excuse me.
I just don't know what the problem is, right? Or the lostness. So people come to me and be like, what lane do I go in?
2.
I'm like, whatever you see a light on. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to give you? This is not Barney's, New York. What you want me to give you, concierge service?
No, they thought it was Marshalls or TJ Maxx where the
it
little
is
TV
not
come
at
on.
That at all.
And little TV come on and tell you what lane to go to.
Yeah,
No?
No.
Oh.
Ma'am, wherever you see a fucking light, that's where you go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I just been navigating through that, but my patience is getting shorter and shorter. Is that something y'all notice too when y'all go to box stores? Or y'all go to box stores? Do y'all, if you see a shorter line and someone's in front, or I'd be sometimes like when you're paying and you'll scoot your thing out, or if you got a kid, just say excuse me. I don't think that's a rude thing.
No.
Or am I?
You say get your ass the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. I don't get rude until you say excuse me 2-3 times they don't hear, and that's when you bump their cart.
And then you bump their ass and you make sure you knock over something.
Yeah.
Knock their purse on the ground, all the shit come out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, I'm the first one to say I'm sorry.
Tampons and pregnancy tests is all over the floor.
Don't tote all the tea. The next thing I got, Santa is black.
Okay.
Did you hear about that? No, did y'all see in Mall of America? It's Santa Larry. So he from Dallas. His name is Dally Jefferson. And remember he got everybody attention last year because in the Mall of America, they had their first black Santa. Because, in Mall of America, it's always that white Santa. Mm-hmm. And I guess it was so widely received and welcomed that they invited black Santa back.
Oh, shit.
I'm so excited about that. It's little things that bring joy in my life. I didn't realize how many brown children were not exposed to this. That's all I knew was black Santas, black Mrs. Santas, black angels around Christmas. I had no idea that there was an option for Santa to be white.
Yeah, you got a black Santa looking at me right now.
I was about to say, I have a black Santa at my home right now.
And I call him Leroy.
Near him call our black Santa Leroy. To the point where we probably gonna talk about this in our check-in. We had like a little get-together game night. And one of our friends had like a kid. And he was so cute. He went up to him and like patted his hair. I said, you like Santa?
Me and Santa got the same hair.
We look the same. I said, that is Santa. Come on. But that's all I know is having black Santas. What about you, Nero? In your household during Christmas? First of all, I took pictures with black Santa in Detroit.
I did too. You've seen the pictures with me.
So at your house, did your mom have white Santas and white angels?
No, actually, she didn't have none of that stuff up.
Oh,
we just had a tree.
Yeah.
No Santas, no angels, no figurines. We just had a tree.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all it was. But you seen the pictures I took when I was a little kid and was with Santa Claus.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Hell, my Easter bunny was black.
Shut up. How you know he was black? Shut up. He was not black. You said he brown and black.
Oh, for real. It was a black fur Easter bunny.
You silly. But just realizing that some folks grew up only with white. Like even Jesus was black. Everybody been black. That I done grew up around with. My last check-in is shout out to University of Chicago. What is it? Their first African American woman to receive a doctoral degree at the University of Chicago is finally being honored. So Dr. Georgina Simpson was almost forgotten, but thanks to 2 University of Chicago seniors, she wasn't. Dr. Georgina Simpson was the first woman to earn a doctoral degree from University of Chicago, and she earned it in 1919. Now, according to CBS Chicago, she has a statue in her image To honor her legacy. The statue was unveiled in the university's dining hall, which is referred to the White Man Hall due to the line of portraits featuring white males. Every school got that.
Yeah.
Every school, college, and university. It's a hall you go by, and it ain't nothing but a bunch of old white men who all look the same. Who all look like their cousins, sisters, and brothers, okay?
They got the same haircut.
Same outfit. It doesn't matter. Because sometimes you can't even tell what year it was unless it's in black and white or color. Like, it could be a color picture, but if they made it black and white, you're not sure if it's the 1900s or 2007.
Or even if they do that sepia.
Yeah, you don't know what year it was. So just shout out to them and honoring their legacy. And that's the thing. We all we got.
Yeah.
If you don't speak up and say something and, as grad students or in these spaces and celebrate ourselves, it's not going to happen because how did they not honor their first black graduate student? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that's all I got for me. I was going to talk about selling the house, but we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, what's going on with you
now? Y'all niggas have been up in arms with this I'm Not Racist shit. This I'm Not Racist music video.
What's going on with it?
Have you seen it?
A little bit.
So, damn, what is the dude name? He from Worcester. He actually from around the corner.
White ass New England.
Yeah, he out there from white ass New England. Let me look up that nigga name.
What'd you say?
Let me look up that nigga name.
You silly.
I'm for real.
Why you want to look his name up?
Because I forgot his name.
Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, Joyner Lucas. And his ass out there got y'all motherfuckers just all up in arms, whether it's a think piece, whether, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all who don't know, Joyner Lucas put out a video. I think it was on YouTube and Facebook, and it got like millions upon millions of hits. At first, I was almost a little mad.
Why was you mad?
Because it started off with a white man, a fat white man, heel has eyes looking motherfuckers with a Make America Great hat, Make America Great Again hat on.
Okay.
And then it just shows his face and he just rapping and shit and he's saying nigga and all this other stuff. I almost started writing my own think piece the first time he dropped nigga.
Exactly.
And then he dropped it again and was like hard ER. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna turn this shit off. And then I seen the black man with the dreads and shit, and I said, oh, he must be rapping this shit. This might be his song. Because his name like Joyner, it's kind of that throw you off a little bit. You don't know that nigga name. You don't know, especially Joyner Lucas. You don't know if that nigga black or white.
Exactly.
So I thought it was the white man rapping and shit. And then they going back and forth about they strive for this America. The Make America Great Again. Nigga talking about how y'all niggas like Tupac and y'all always taking up they taxes with welfare and all this other bullshit. And then Joyner Lucas go back and he's doing all this other stuff. Speakly. Also, there's a good ass think piece on The Root from Very Smart Brothers that talk about all the things that was wrong with it, which is also a good thing. And then at the end, they just hug it out. It reminds me, I don't know if it was that Heineken commercial where they had like, he'd be like a gay dude and then he'd be like Make America Great, a person who hate gay people. They'd be like, gays are abomination. And then they have a beer, like some Heineken, and then they talk it out. And then all of a sudden, all the strife in the world is supposed to be over with. Kind of remind me of that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I thought it was good. I think my view on it, I ain't agree with all the hugging at the end. That's fine. But this is his artistic platform. If we can all do-wop and bop and snap our fingers to Molly Percocet, we can do-wop and snap our hands to this.
Okay.
That's all I got to say. So if we can get with the other stuff right, I don't think this needs such a strong critique.
Okay.
I think it's a time and space for anything and everything. Only thing I will argue is maybe his comeback wasn't as strong.
It wasn't. That's the only thing I want to say.
But saying that it's a bad song or it's not hip, no, that's not true. If we rocking with the Migos and T-shirt and Verdi and all them boys who look the same with the dreadlocks and colorful hair and blouses, we can give, what's his name? Tom Joyner? What's his name? Joyner Lucas, whatever his name is, the opportunity, right? I don't think it's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a space and platform for everything. If we're talking about it as a whole, I think it's fine. It's great. Good. Continue doing it. I'm glad he's moving forward with that. If I had to come up with a critique, I would just say his comeback wasn't as hard. I would recommend him going to the readings of Baldwin to have some support statements.
Maybe a Bell Hooks or something.
Baldwin, Bell Hooks. Hell, I don't care who you go to.
Marcus
talk to.
Garvey.
Somebody, right?
So I think that's my only critique as well, is that the black guy's comeback was his argument was a little weak.
Yes.
And then my son, who's another rapper, came out with another verse that's supposed to be the black guys, and his verse was kind of dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, so you said it was another person?
Yeah, his name was my son.
Okay.
And he came out with a verse too, and that's pretty dope. I think his verse, it's a good complimentary verse to Joyner Lucas.
And that's what we got to think, because we're a little older, we're a little from a little different generation, so maybe this is the way you have to connect with some of the younger folks, right? You know, they're not necessarily watching Wolf Blitzer on CNN. So maybe this is how they're putting into context.
You said
right?
Niggas ain't watching Situation Room?
They not. I mean, they know something going on, but they might not know all the details. But by this young man coming out saying this verse is saying something. And not just for, the black guy, for the white people too, because white people love hip hop, so I would say argue sometimes more than us, right? And so by them hearing themselves and seeing this, it sparks a dialogue amongst a different generation or different population, right? And so I appreciate it. I think it's like that Blackish episode. Everything ain't for me. Just like that what was that musical on Juneteenth? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Just like that. Like everything not for everybody. And I just take this as something that's not everything for everybody.
And white people do love Mexico. Yeah. Anyways, over the past weekend we had a pseudo game night. So i.e. niggas came over, we ate food. Nyambi had the hot Cheetos out and a little fancy little bowl. She had the chips out. We had fruit and crudité. And I bought a handle of Crown liquor. And then Nyambi had some wine. Talking about, what if everybody don't even drink that like that? And half of that damn bottle was gone. So that was cool. And I think the funny thing is that our game night turned into niggas sitting and chilling and talking. It was more or less like a catch-up night than a game night. And then we played that game that I've been telling you about that I bought on Kickstarter or Amazon called Trading Races. And basically it's a bunch of playing cards with black and white people on there. And you got to argue who's the blackest.
Exactly.
And that shit was a riot. That shit was a riot.
Well, it was because we had so many different types of folks.
Yeah.
So, we got everything from civil rights, black. We got folks, from the continent. And he shouldn't have won. I know you listening. We're gonna tell the one that tipped the scale. So did you explain like what the trading races was? Yeah. So they were doing this round where it's like it got down to who the blackest. And it was the tie was between Little Kim and Sojourner Truth. And our brother from the continent was like, I'm gonna go with Little Kim.
He said for the culture, I'm gonna go with Lil Kim.
And niggas was like, because what?
I don't know who Sojourner Truth is.
Niggas, every civil rights black nigga in the house almost flipped the damn table. The civil rights black niggas was like, what? You don't know who Sojourner Truth is wrapped in that white cloth?
That shit was funny as hell because I had Lil Kim and I was like,
Niram was
Lil
trolling
Kim for the culture.
Niram was trolling. That's what he was doing
for the culture. Who else do you know to wear all these colorful wigs and drop down and just had a coochie out like that?
Sojourner Truth flipped in her damn grave. It was like, niggas. What was that Boondocks episode on MLK?
Nigga, oh yeah.
What MLK was like,
he's like, nigga, I'm going back to bed.
But you said, I can't with you niggas. And that is what it is. I said, what are the Queen Apparition? I almost said Apparition.
Apparition. Apparition.
But everyone was dumb. But it was a good game if y'all have it. And if you can't afford to buy a game, you probably can recreate it. Just do some magazine cutouts.
I think it's like $25 on Amazon, so definitely check it out. It's if y'all looking for another good ass black game and y'all tired of Black Cards Revolt because everybody know all the answers. Trading Races is another one, especially if you got niggas who like to argue.
Yeah, that's a good way to get their energy out because they ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, you got any? We got some pillow talk.
Yes, I do got some pillow talk for you today. So, in 45's news. Former National Secretary Advisor Michael T. Flynn pleads guilty to lying to the FBI about Russia. Duh.
Told y'all.
Duh.
Told y'all the white part of being crafty is lying.
And lying well. And lying so well you don't even know you lying.
That's the part of being crafty is that they lie so well you don't even know it becomes their truth.
Come on. So the investigation into Russia's meddling in the 2016 election has found that Russian agents use social media to sow discord and distribute propaganda. It is also known that the president's son arranged a meeting with a high-powered Russian lawyer, but so far, exactly how far Robert Mueller's investigations about Trump ties to Russia has remained a mystery. Until now, according to the New York Times, Trump's former National Secretary Advisor Flynn pleaded guilty on Friday to lying to the FBI about having conversations with Russian ambassador regarding the administrator's foreign policy plans. This is a huge deal because Flynn was the first White House senior official to cooperate in connection with the Mueller election fraud investigation. What this motherfucker said was, I recognize the actions I acknowledged in court today were wrong, and through my faith in God, don't you bring the Lord into this, okay? I am working to set things right, said Flynn shortly after he submitted his guilty plea. My guilty plea and agreement to cooperate with the special counsel office reflect the decision I made in the best interest of my family and our country. I accept full responsibility for my actions. Flynn's plea agreement included documents confirming that he held foreign policy conversations that involved talks of getting rid of the U.S. sanctions against Russia. Flynn also admitted that he received directions on how to discuss foreign policy from a very senior member of Trump's presidential transitionary team, and multiple members of the transition team knew that Flynn included talks of sanctions in his meetings. In particular, court documents show that Flynn caused Trump Mar-a-Lago resort to discuss that, if anything, to communicate to Russia's ambassador about the U.S. sanctions with an unarmed high-level official. And why the documents doesn't name names, the shade. We all know Vice President Pence led the presidential transition team, and top aides included the Trump son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and the first chief of staff, and also McFarland, who now serves as the ambassador for Singapore. The documents didn't disclose what Trump knew about Flynn's discussion.
You know, we all know Bannon had somebody
like
to do
dog.
to it.
Who?
You know, we all know Bannon had something to do with it too.
Come the fuck on. No, I need them to go ahead because we're preparing for Trump's impeachment in the next year to 18 months. We need to find a way to get Pence ass too, so he can't be the vice president.
Damn.
We're going to have to do a special election. You think it's going to be a special election for it?
Bring back Obama.
Can he just slide in? Like, can we do an interim? You think he would say yes or no?
He is the previous president.
Oh, can we do? Someone bust out. Where's our lawyers? Who has constitutional law? Who has a constitutional law degree? What happens if the whole presidential cabinet? Because you know they got their little rank they go down. If it shows that
everybody,
the entire presidential cabinet has been compromised.
Oh man, the power.
That sounds like a good episode or something.
Man, that sounds like that's some type of shit that'd be the fall of the U.S. We gonna fuck around and be a third world country.
Oh no, it's too many rich people for that. The whites aren't having that. Okay, they've been put a coalition to bring Obama. They've been went back in time. They used their time machine to go change the Constitution. We wake up. What is the alternate? You know, I believe in the alternate timeline. Y'all watch Fringe. Shout out to Fringe. The alternate timeline.
What if it go all the way down the line and then it be
then I'm the president. No, go ahead. What? Come on, Nyambi.
No, that black nigga that's from HUD.
Ben Carson. I mean, he ain't that far. What, he like 20 something?
Little Ben Carson. That remind me of the Designated Survivor.
This is Designated Survivor U.S. Real Edition 2018.
Fuck around, Ben Carson has to be president.
I mean, but
because he the only one that ain't been compromised in the
because he's fucking clueless. He's fucking clueless. That's why. But where do you begin in unpacking this shit, right? Mm-hmm. I lied. First of all, I got to do what's right for me, what the Lord told me to do in my community, my country. Boy, you just didn't want to go to jail, honey.
They must have some good shit on his ass and said, we're going to charge your ass for treason.
No, I want to say he ain't had no good shit. He must have some good shit for them not to throw his ass in jail, right? Mm-hmm. For them to even come up with a plea deal because he only got one count. He must have all types of Snapchat saves.
Right.
Snapchat and Instagram post saves and Twitter tweets that we've never seen. Mm-hmm. What you mean how far it go up? It's tainted all the way to the core.
Right.
So do you think Donald Trump is going to be impeached or he going to resign? Or he going to die? Have a heart attack? He going to die. This is stress.
Nah.
You say he going to live to 1,000. This is a lot of stress. So not only being the president of the United States carries his own stress, right? Mm-hmm. But all this other bullshit stirring, that'll cause anybody's heart to stop beating. He can't be sleeping. Or no, what's some Instagram means? How do you sleep at night? Well,
and I bet his
in
ass
my white
don't.
man bed in my white house, but to my white wife.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is fucking crazy. The thing is, we all knew this shit.
Yeah.
We all knew this bullshit was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I can only blame the 53%.
And then they also trying to slide in this little tax reform bill shit. They try to slide in a lot of shit.
They done had a late night meeting on Saturday and shit at 2 p.m.
Oh,
2 a.m.
they work on Saturday night? They was trying to get out for July.
I'm telling you.
It's just, I don't know, Neil. What you think about what's going on? It's exhausting.
It's a lot of witchcraft going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of WW.
W squared.
WW.
That's it, yeah.
Just a lot of witchcraft
Yeah.
going on. You got to stay woke because a lot of shit is going to happen. I think what Trump trying to do is trying to get all these laws and shit passed that can work out for him and his homeboys before his ass step
get
down.
So your vote is resignation.
Is he going to step down or he going to get impeached? I don't think he's going to jail though.
No, he ain't going to jail.
My thing is, whatever happened to them sexual harassment charges?
They got paid tonight. We paid them.
Oh,
As the
it came out our
people.
taxes.
I'm sure it did.
Fuck.
No, I'm just joking. Well, no, he got money. I'm sure he just done paid them all
Mm-hmm.
to keep their mouth shut. It's sad.
It is sad.
I don't know what else to say.
I should bring up some allegations
Okay.
so I can get paid off.
You got to have something happen. And what's these things with the documents don't say the names?
They've been redacted? Do they got code names?
Okay.
What's happened? Are they using pronoun? Are they using nouns? Pronouns?
Man or woman? Well, ain't no women in the cabinet.
Exactly. So what you
Which
saying?
white man is it?
So you just saying I met with him in quotation marks?
Yeah.
They lying.
Who is the man who's leading this investigation? I forgot his name.
Mueller.
He said he's not here for the bullshit. He has to go home to his family and he has to answer his Lord. He's gonna take it's what's going on is almost like them advent calendars. So every day is a different thing. So on the first we got this. On the second we got the tax reform. We're gonna get on the third and fourth and fifth, honey.
I don't know.
It just don't stop. Do it.
It's crazy as hell. What do y'all think about this? Because we can't be the only ones. Are y'all shaking y'all head like yeah, or y'all like no, we wrong on this? Because I know this is fucked up.
And I keep going back. If this is what they telling us,
What is actually going down? Because you know they don't tell us everything.
you can't for national security. So imagine the shit they ain't telling us.
Yeah. What else we got?
On happier news, LeBron James. Do you know what I'm talking about? That little boy who be like LeBron James.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I know
LeBron
before you
James.
said you didn't know what I was talking about.
Brian.
So LeBron James is opening a school in his old neighborhood. So the LeBron James Family Foundation will open the I Promise School. Pause. I'm so appreciative of doing it, so I'm not taking the story left. But whenever basketball players or black people open schools, why is they named this?
Like what? I
Promise School. Where you went to? Say the name. Oh, Niran, what school you went to?
I promise.
What did that sound like? Did that sound like a place to get an education?
No.
It sound like a foster care system, don't it? It sound like where you send people who do
You
that.
know, it probably got some type of, that's probably like an acronym for some shit.
But do you know what I'm saying? I've noticed that a lot. And I'm going to need folks to work with their long-term branding, right?
You know, black people like acronyms.
Because the idea with school and the America we're in, you want to build prestige by it, right? So this the I Promise School. You promise what?
I'm telling you, it's probably acronym.
Like, I'm sure it's I promise to do the best I can be. I promise. You know, I'm sure that's what it is. But you put that in the mission statement, not in the name of it. It should have been called the James Academy.
Yeah.
Hire Nyambi. Anyway, for the fall for the 3rd and 4th graders of the Akron public school system who are at risk of falling behind. James' mission with his foundation since 2010 has been to improve reading skills and eventually increase graduation rates from children in Akron public schools who are faced with the same challenges he did growing up. Many of the children who are mentored in James' foundation live like he once did in the Akron inner city. They also come from a single-parent household and face various social and economic barriers to learning. For me to be able to open up a school and give back to my inner city, so many kids that I know because I was those kids, James is playing. I walked those streets and it was just like there was no way I was going to be able to get out of the situation. I just thought about that every day. I had dreams that I had mentors and they allowed my dreams to become who I am today. James knows that he won't he won't be at. He knows it won't be a walk in the park, but he's going to do everything that he can to make sure that I Promise School serves the children in the community. We're going to give them everything they need and give them criteria that they all can meet, depending on individual. James also highlights that this is one of the most rewarding and important parts of his career, making it clear that he intends for his legacy to be. The basketball thing, I love it and I enjoy it, but I want to give back and be able to open up a school that's something that will last beyond my years. And he's right about that. Like, I'm all for what LeBron James is doing and how he's outwardly and publicly showing that. Because I know a lot of celebrities donate and necessarily don't say anything. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes it's important for the celebrities to be like, no, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm helping my community. Almost to make philanthropy cool, right? Mm-hmm. So I appreciate LeBron James kind of doing this release statement and opening the schools and doing that because folks watching, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm not in a place where I can open my own school, but it made me like, well, let me give a little piece of coin to my alma mater, right? Let me see where the black scholarships for the black alumni and give $100. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just excellent. Now, that name, Brian. It should be called James Scholars or something like that.
I promise.
What? I thought you were about to sing a song.
Like, I swear.
It reminded me, I thought you were about to sing a song. What's it called? Lean on Me? Mm-hmm. When they just start breaking out in song. Or what was their school anthem or something?
I promise.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And they start singing that song?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Oh my goodness, that's what I'm thinking of. The name. But what's his name? Not the only one who do that though.
No, it's good for him to have like this business acumen to actually do something and want to give back. And also, one of the things you got to realize is that LeBron only got a high school education, y'all.
I forgot.
This nigga ain't go to college.
Surely did it.
So.
That's why. Never mind.
Don't you be talking about I Promise University like that.
It's not I Promise University. You stupid. You said I Promise University. Yeah, bro, I'm going to need you to rebrand that.
Yeah, so.
Go ahead.
You also got to realize this dude, and he didn't go to college. He ain't got no 4-year degree.
Yeah.
He put that ball in the hoop. Very good. And now he's using it to do better in the community. And I'm all for that.
Yeah. But low-key, I talked about LeBron and his wife. I think her name is Savannah. They're on the come-up. Like, beyond just who they are, right? Mm-hmm. So they're on the come-up just being LeBron James and playing basketball and endorsements.
Yes.
I'm talking about this school shit, but also business. Y'all know LeBron James owes Blaze Pizza, right? Mm-hmm. That's his shit. And y'all also know LeBron James. You know that dumbass show on ABC or NBC, The Wall, that white people love?
Yeah.
He the EP.
He EP is another show, too.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that excuse of high school education and his whack-ass name don't go. But he on the come up.
And he also EP for Survivor Remorse.
Come on.
I think he is.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. This is that low-key stuff that, I don't know. I got my eyes on them. They making an empire.
Yeah.
And not just the traditional way. So I think when you think basketball players that make empires, you think of like the Kobe's and the Mikes, right? Yeah. Who, of course they do community service. I don't want to demean like they don't do that, right? Mm-hmm. But they do their community service. They do their little philanthropy, right? And then they make their money and endorsements from like athletic things.
Yes.
So be it basketball, I know a little cologne. Michael Jordan might have a little restaurant, but it's very kind of the more traditional realm. This shit that LeBron doing is something completely different, right?
Yeah.
That I haven't seen many black athletes and young black athletes with only a high school diploma. That's speaking volumes. So I only can imagine that it must be Savannah. Shout out to you, sis.
Behind every
move, period, signature, dot, and everything.
There's a
strong black woman
behind it.
Come on. You don't think?
Naomi's a strong black woman behind with Black Love Matters.
Oh, Nero.
You are better.
I'm not making dinner.
That's still ain't gotta do that. You still a strong black woman.
All right. You got anything else about LeBron James?
LeBron. No, I think it's a good look. It's a good move for him. I bet it's a good tax break too. Mm-hmm. Starting his school and shit. This is automatic tax break for all the money and all the money move he's making, so the government won't take it. Mm-hmm. So that's always a good look too. But I'm excited for him. I hope that he continue to do more things, and I'm looking for all these retired basketball players and things of that sort to get together and have a first black-owned, completely black-owned basketball team.
Yeah, they have to all get together, but I think they can.
I think they can too. They got enough money. They got enough millions.
Yeah, to do it.
Put it together. Hell.
Or did the basketball players have a union?
Yeah, I think so. They had to
They had a
because they had a
election.
strike, so they
What?
had a union.
Wouldn't the basketball players
Didn't
strike?
they have like a lockout?
Basketball?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
In
even
my
watch the Roots.
generation?
Yes,
And what they said? They weren't going to play? Who was sad?
I don't know.
Me, I'm going to just go put on them. Never mind. Neem, you know what surprised
Yeah,
me?
it was an NBA lockout.
What year
a
was
few
this?
Years ago. It happened every so often.
Oh, what, they want more money? Oh, I'm glad Nyambi
So,
ain't here.
look.
Don't tell me they wanted more money.
So the last one was in 2011, which lasted over 6 months.
What were they locking out about? Do not say it was over money.
What else is it about?
Bye.
It's the fourth lockout in NBA history.
Oh.
And owners began work stoppage upon the expiration of the date of their collective bargaining agreement. So, yeah, they got a union.
Oh, no. I don't want to read no more of that because I don't need. I dare any sports team to go on a strike now. Good riddance.
Oh, y'all niggas ain't kneeling.
Y'all niggas ain't kneeling. Y'all ain't playing, and you striking. Keep it up. Not a problem. My DVR is full of This Is Us and White Daddy.
What else we got?
I was gonna say, speaking of DVR, maybe this is something you can talk about now. I came in last night late and he was watching The Color Purple. It wouldn't, but actually my mom reminded me. He was like, "Oh, Neil ain't watching Roots."
Oh, Roots coming up, baby.
When do you start Roots? You gotta tell the people your tradition.
So every year between Christmas and New Year's, I usually start like in December, but I know this time I'm going to start between Christmas and New Year's. I watch Roots. And it's just to remind me, no matter how good the white folks try to treat me now and give me gifts and shit like that they always are rapers, pillagers, and thieves.
And y'all know Roots like 16 hours long.
And I watched the whole Roots series.
And he just continues. So if he gets through, he just starts it back over.
I started it back over. And the other thing is, like, if I fall asleep, I'll wake back up and the next day before I go back to bed, I'll start where I remember at.
And he just keeps put every night before he go to bed. That's the last thing he watches.
I got to stay woke.
Oh my God. To the point when people visit with us, they be like,
Are you watching Roots?
"Are you
Yes.
watching Roots again?" Because now it's in our bedroom. Because before she used to be on the main TV, and people used to come visit us in the holiday season and be like, "What y'all watching?" We like, just some TV, some Roots. And we had friends who visited us like multiple times in the week. They was like, "Y'all still watching Roots?"
Yes.
Because there was a point where they was like, "We think we've seen this part."
Yes.
And it's the
enjoy
old Roots too, ain't
Yes.
the new Roots.
It
I
ain't
ain't
the
really
new
like the new
Roots.
Roots. Did you like the new Roots?
Not really.
Oh.
But I think I'm going to put that in my rotation too. I'm going to watch
The new
Roots
Roots?
and old Roots. So I'm going to do old Roots first, and then I'm going to do Roots, what happens next. And then I'm going to watch the new Roots.
Yeah, because they got Roots Next Generation, honey.
Yeah.
They go all the way to the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much.
So, I got to stay woke.
All right, our last Pillow Talk thing I want to talk about was this interview Jay-Z had with what's his name, Dean Paquette.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. He kind of a cool guy.
Cool black guy.
Yeah, isn't he? So it was like this really informal interview. It reminded me of like an uncle and a nephew talking.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of was like the meeting of the minds. He's like, "What you think about? Let me just ask you, young blood."
Nephew, come here.
Let me talk to you, young blood. It gave me kind of that energy, but not a judgy uncle. You know, an uncle who was really like, "I'm trying to understand what's going on here."
Yeah.
Give me your opinion. It's the uncles who still listen to current music. What I think Miriam hoped to be one day, right?
I hope to be.
So they talked about a variety of different topics, and I thought it was just very engaging, right? Like, I need Jay-Z to come out with a book, I think, and not like the Decoded type book. Like, I really need him to come out with like breaking thoughts down. Did you read Decoded?
No, I didn't.
Oh, look, what was it about?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Let me find a synopsis on Wikipedia.
But like, I think I need him to do like, I don't want to say not a reality show. I don't know what I need. Maybe a docuseries.
Well, that's what he's trying to do with the music videos.
No, don't do that to him.
No, like for real. Like, some of the music videos, they had like those like conversations and stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual videos.
No, like not the videos, but like the, when he was doing like the 444 rollout, there was like him breaking down like what each song mean and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But it was only like 5 or 6 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Yeah, I
And
need
then
it
the
longer.
vehicle.
Like, it takes more than 5 or 6 minutes to unpack some of that stuff. So I would be entertained to see like a docuseries of him, like of 444, right? And him going through the process and what that look. And I mean a good one. So like, we don't need Beyonce and the twins in it, but I need to hear the twins cry in the background.
Oh.
Or I need like Beyonce just to walk past the screen. Do you know what I mean? When she be like, you hear the door open, be like, "Are you coming to eat?"
Uh-huh.
And he be like, "One more thing." And she be like, "It's always one more thing." Then you hear the door slam. Or like when she come in the room and all you can see is the back of her head. And then he be like, "No more cameras."
No more cameras. So Dakota was actually a memoir.
Yeah, I figured.
Autobiography. Well, how's it gonna be an autobiography and memoir at the same time?
Oh, that's
Because
what
a
I'm saying.
memoir is like
That's what I'm saying.
a memoir is like a specific place and time that you're talking about, or a specific
Autobiography
time.
is your whole, yeah.
And autobiography is the whole. So how's it gonna be both?
That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I bet it was good, but I need him to, yeah. I ain't gonna do it, but yeah. So, but this interview, going back to the interview, I thought it was very interesting. I think it had a lot of good conversation points. I would like to see interviews done with a lot more artists and celebrities and intellectuals. Like, BET needs to come out with a show like this. So they need to hire this black man here and have it come on like Saturday mornings or like Sunday afternoon.
It's called Super Soul Sunday by Oprah.
I want to do the Negro edition. No, it don't even got to be Holy Ghost. Like, I think Oprah's is and don't get me wrong, I love me some Super Soul Sunday. Like, if you're looking for an inspirational podcast, like Super Soul Sunday is the shit. But I'm talking about just real, like, human conversations with people. And I would love to see that, like something from VH1, BET or TV1, and it's different artists and not just artists though. So I think Jay-Z was great, but I also think of like that guy who owned like the first black billionaire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the folks I want to have these conversations with, or even like black intellects, right? So it don't have to be the Jay-Z's that they feel, but they can be the Jay-Z's of like what they're doing. Because there's a lot of unspoken heroes out in our communities that I would just love to get their perspectives on. I don't know if I'm explaining that accurately, but it's in 30 minutes. I don't need Barbara Walters 2.5 hours where we walking through their bathroom.
So you want a long form podcast?
Whatever.
No, I'm just trying to make it in the simplest terms. So you
guess.
want like a video podcast of somebody famous who asks like real deep ass questions?
And I don't want to edit it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want all that edit. I don't want it shifting. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want I want it really raw.
Yeah.
And I think that would be interesting because it's just to the point where even if sometimes in Jay-Z interview, he asked a question, he was like, what? Like, you know, when somebody asks you a question, you be like, what the fuck?
What you ask?
Huh? What you mean by like? Those are the type of reactions I want. I don't want that edited and cleaned out where as soon as you ask the question, boom, the response is like, I want it where people don't even get the questions. Like, I want their off cut.
So they be like,
yeah, let me think about that. Yeah,
man, that's a tough ass question, yo.
Yeah. That's what I want. I don't know what that would be though. You said it's a long form podcast.
It's a podcast. It's just a unedited podcast or an unedited interview
with a variety of folks. So everyone from I'm drawing blanks on names, right? But you know what I'm saying here. So can we talk to, I don't know.
Yeah, can we talk to Kanye and figure out what's going on with this weight loss plan?
Oh my God. I think that's photoshopped. I don't think he that big.
Can we talk to Wu-Tang to talk about, or hell, Method Man to figure out where he going? Like,
can we talk to Andre 3000?
I feel like there are people that do it. Like, you got like the Breakfast Club.
Can we talk to Bell Hooks? Like, that's what I'm saying. I want to talk to Bell Hooks too. Can we break Bell Hooks down? Can we bring Van Jones? Like, I want to talk to all those types of people, right? Let's like everyone. What's some of the black chefs? Sit their ass, talk down to them. Like, let's talk to all of them and see what it is to do it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I feel like you have that with like some of the Breakfast Club interviews or like Sway in the Morning, but it's like still they're pubbing something. You want like raw.
You can tell the way this man was interviewing, right? That he's done his no shade, no disrespect to the Breakfast Club or all these other places. They're like, I want them to be interviewed because I don't think no one's ever interviewed them to say, do you understand what you've created? Yes. Right? But it was something about the way this man Dean interviewed that you can tell he did his fucking homework. And it was so conversational.
Yeah.
Do you like compared to Breakfast Club, you can pick out the hat that Charlamagne the God had this joke for you for a week. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
But sir, can we stretch a little? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I would like to see the Breakfast Club interview. Who interviewed them?
Nobody. Because they have the platform.
Vlad TV.
And they do it separately.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, those are the types of conversations I have, or like the Tom Joyners, or it's a lot of other, maybe even unknown folks might not know, but just to see, what would these be, or living legends that we still got.
Yeah,
I don't know, and I just got that vibe when I was doing it with them. Anywho, but like I said, they talked about a lot. The first thing they kind of talked about was music. And of course, that OJ saw the story of OJ, and I like how the dean flipped it to say, the story of OJ can be a very positive or negative thing. It's how you flip it, right? So it can be this idea that, yeah, nigga, you got all this money in X, Y, and Z, but you still a nigga. And don't you ever forget that. But also on the flip side of saying, it ain't about that you still a nigga, but embracing that and loving that about yourself and knowing that played a role in who you are.
Right.
So taking pride and ownership of being black.
Yes.
So, he talked about that. What you thought about that, Nam? Did you listen to the interview?
Yeah, I listened to about, it's like a 30-minute interview. I listened to about 25 minutes, 27 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I think the OJ subject of it was very interesting in the fact that, yes, it does have this dichotomy, and it doesn't have to be both. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be one or the other.
It can be
just be both. It can be, yeah, you got this money, and now you left the culture. Or you somewhat left the culture, but when shit go down and you got your you got a room full of your peers judging you,
come on,
now you want to go back, and it's like you don't have to leave.
Yeah,
you
can still glow up. You can still glow up and be amongst the culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, or the fact that you got all this money, and you both you rich and you black. So yeah. I like that. Yeah. That was cool.
Rich and black. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's why sometimes people gravitate towards amigos. What do you say, young black and?
Right. No, young rich niggas.
Okay.
Young
the
rich
millennium
niggas.
Generation. Got a little vinegar on the end, but it is what it is. What?
It's apple cider because it's good for you.
It's good for you, young rich niggas. Come on. It's something that you identify with that, right? Mm-hmm. Young rich niggas. Come on. So also about that in music and, the song he made about his mother. They had a very candid conversation about when did you know that your mother was gay? And he almost like, it was never when did you know? It was just like a unspoken in the room. Mm-hmm. And her finally having that freedom to be who she was now. It took this long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And really just learning to appreciate that and making that type of music. But another point that stood out to me was they talked about raising kids. And I know we've brushed past this on the episode because, we don't really have kids. I don't want a parents playing.
Right. I'm just a god daddy.
I'm just a guy. Exactly. I'm a godmama and I'm play auntie. I'm good at giving them sugar and making sure they clean and go to bed.
I buy clothes and gifts.
We make sure they safe and clean.
I talk to them once a month and then I give them back to their parents.
Safe and clean. That is our responsibility. Make sure it's safe, clean, and fed, right? That's our responsibility. But the interviewer asked questions that we've asked y'all and other people is, so when you're having when you have children and you came from a certain economic standpoint, and then you glow up a little bit, right? So you get a little bit more money, you change neighborhoods, and that's all your children are used to. Like we always say the Obama kids. So it's some kids who always know it's going to be like that. They always know it's going to be a black president, right? Mm-hmm. How do you prepare them? How do you keep them humble in a stance to say, oh, sis, this is not how it always is.
Right.
This is, we live in a nice neighborhood and we have nice neighbors, but that doesn't mean that's how you're going to be treated as a black person in America. And the point that he made that I thought was interesting, I never thought of, he was saying, that's not something I really think about because the way he was raised was a reason he was raised like that. So there's only certain resources. They're going to need different resources.
Right.
Than they needed or he needed to survive.
Exactly.
So the upbringing has to be different. Like it can't be the same. I think that the goal is to keep folks humble and let them know about their past and where they came from. But I think that's a huge point that we don't discuss. It is as much as, even me, only been on this world for 30 short years. I tease, some of my friends are like, oh, your kid's soft. They need this and that. But the idea is that the kids need very different resources and skills compared to what we need to be successful. And we have to put respect on that. And we can't be in this stagnant phase to be like, oh, if we just teach them what we did and how we did it, they're going to be successful, because they're not. It's a different world. Mm-hmm. So I just appreciated that.
Exactly. Like you just can't go be punching bullies in the faces.
No more, because you go to jail.
You go to jail. Your parents press charges.
You're emotionally unintelligent.
Exactly.
We ain't nobody give a fuck about that when we was growing up, right? You know what I'm saying? Nobody talking about emotionally intelligence. Ain't nobody talking about inclusive talk and dialogue. Ain't nobody caring about sexual assault. No one cared about that, right? Mm-hmm. Or made it a priority to now. Because even when we talked about the episode about consent's going to look very different in the next year to 10, 15 years than it did when we were growing up. Mm-hmm. And if we were, again, teaching our kids the same thing we know, they be in jail, honey. They be...
Weinstein. Exactly.
Black Weinstein.
Go get your woman.
Grab her by the pussy.
Grab her by the pussy.
Let a woman know. You know what I'm saying?
Let
It's
her
that
know.
old shit. Yeah.
Let her know that you want her.
Yeah.
And you do that by grabbing her by the pussy.
Let her know that you in control. You the man. You X Y. And that shit ain't gonna fly no more.
No.
So I appreciated that dichotomy. And don't get me wrong. He still made it clear that you have to tell your kids your history.
Yeah.
So they have to be aware of it. But it's also you have to be open and flexible enough and giving kids the critical thinking skills to think for themselves and be able to adapt. So what I got from that, and even thinking when I have kids, it's so important to have kids who are adaptable. Adaptable and flexible, because this world is shifting. Things will happen, and you can't sleep on shit. Life moves on. As I said in the podcast, eventually I'm gonna tell you everything that's going on in my life. But what I've really learned in these last 6 months to a year is the shit you going through. Nobody gives a fuck.
You don't give a fuck about it, but you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Your mama.
You, Jesus, and sometimes your mama. And I really had to go through the process to understand and own that. To say the shit I'm going through is what I'm going through.
Right.
It ain't nobody else's responsibility to take that on. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because you want other folks to, you know what I'm saying, be wrapped and immersed and give. But in reality, they don't care until some shit pop off with them. Then they world crumbling, right?
Right.
So it's like just this cycle of, what do you want your kids to have? I think of traits I want my kids and family to have is strength, compassion, empathy, the ability to adapt, being strong. Like that's the type. Those are the things you want to pass on. Not some of the shit we learned in Detroit. That's all right, but that ain't necessary. But okay, I digress.
Well, he don't need to know how many grams are in the
No.
Oh. Damn it, man.
Jesus.
No, but the other thing is like, so you can't give them these type of things. Like these are things that you can't give them. And like Jay-Z made this whole thing. It's like, I can't put love in Blue's hand.
Yeah.
Like there's no tangible way.
Yeah.
Like I can just show her, affection, and she can, take that as love.
Yeah.
But even same thing with compassion. I can't give her compassion in her hands.
Show it to her. Yeah.
I can only show it. So like, and being these examples, and I think that's a real thing to like look at, especially when we start having kids. But be for all y'all other niggas who ain't had kids yet, or niggas who got kids, that some of these things that you learned back in the day
ain't gonna
fly today.
Yeah.
And you need to figure out how to be the best example for what you need, because like you said, you don't need these tools. Like like Harpo.
Come on.
My daddy, Master beat my daddy. My granddaddy
beat my daddy,
and my granddaddy beat my daddy,
and my daddy beat me,
and my daddy beat me,
and my daddy beat my mama,
and my daddy beat my mama, and that's how my daddy showed that
he loved her.
Come on. I beat you because I love you too.
Because it's cycles. It's cycles of that. And once we get out this thing that, child, you got to get out this cycle that you ain't your mama, you ain't your daddy, you ain't your sister, you your own person. And until you let that crutch go, it's forever gone.
Now, Niram do still believe in the good ass whooping.
Yes, to children. No, I'm just joking. No, but I think it's broader. So we're talking more than a whooping, honey. A whooping is different than an ass whooping.
Sometimes timeouts don't get it.
No, because who cares? Then what if they're introverted? Right. They appreciate a timeout.
Right. Can I have my buck, please?
Some people, the introverted people, need to be put on time in. You got to deal with the world. Nigga, you can't run. Type of shit is this? So I just appreciated it. Again, I don't want to parent somebody. I don't have any children, but as I'm getting into the age where I'm going to be having kids, like just really thinking critically on what does that look like, right? What are the skill set I want to impart? What do I want to show my child, right? So another thing that's important to my child, if I'm not around, I want my child to be able to survive. Because I saw something I fear. So, I see people around me or different friends that if something happened to their parents,
they gone.
And I love my mom and my dad, right? But if something happened, I'm going to cry. And then what I'm going to do?
Survive.
Live. Just like if Niram leave me or I leave Niram, I'm going to cry. And then what? I'm going to live.
You're going to look for me.
Come on, Joker. I told you that was the baddest line in, what's it called? Suicide Squad.
Right.
When
she was like, I'll die for you.
And he was like, I don't want you to die for me. I want you to live for me. I said, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I only live for the Lord.
Oh, my God.
Couldn't be me. I'm the type of bitch. I live in a shelter. I live in my car. I don't give a fuck. I'll do what I got to do to survive. And I will give my parents, and I think, it's intense, but it made me a stronger person. Niram, no?
True.
You just say true.
Yeah. Another thing that he brought up was like, these tough relationships with friends, or
Yeah.
he brought up this whole Kanye thing, and I think he do have a point. Like, I think one of the things is that A is a reason to season, but this thing with Kanye knew he was wrong, or to the fact that we gonna bump heads, especially when it's a long friendship. It's gonna be times where you fall off and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But eventually, hopefully you get to the point where y'all can laugh about this later on.
Yeah. So you, like you said, and the guys, so y'all, it's still tension. Niggas will be like, you got beef, and then the guy was like, is there still tension?
Yeah, it's still tension.
And Jay was like, yeah. He said, but hopefully, by the time we 89, we'll be able to laugh about it.
Right.
Right?
But it's still tension.
It's still tension, because I think the key is being able to, and it's something I'm working on too, is being able to put clear, we talked about in romantic relationships, but in platonic relationship, put up clear and explicit boundaries to say, don't pass go. If you pass go, you're in trouble. We ain't, actually, you're not in trouble. You're not allowed to do this.
Right.
Privileges have been revoked.
Mm-hmm. And I think,
do better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, period. And not getting caught up in how the other person feels. Be like, well, this is how you control your own emotions. You're sad. That's your problem. Now, y'all be too cut though, right?
That's your problem.
That is. It is. Your happiness and your emotions is your thing. You have to deal with that.
Right. And
that's no one else's responsibility.
And I think, the main thing, the reason that this is going on even longer is that the fact that Kanye brought the kids' names in this.
Yeah. I think he would have just kept it. He could have been like ultra petty and just kept it in the music. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I think Kanye would be like, it's just artistic expression, Jay. Relax. Right. Like, I think that could have been a nice shady way to do it. Mm-hmm. But he started talking about the personal stuff, and it's like, well, swerve, man. Relax. Mm-hmm. Relax, right? And Jay-Z, what's Jay-Z's sign, honey? Because he got the energy to just bring men around him like this. Because I think about the Damon Dash situation. He bring very high energy men, very emotionally driven men around him, right? Because later in his interview, he's talking about how when he gets in a situation, he don't have any emotion. But I find it very curious that some of his closest friends or business partners are highly
emotionally driven
men. Yeah, it's like the opposite of him.
Mm-hmm. It's like magnets.
Yeah.
The antithesis.
What?
The antithesis.
Oh. What is he saying?
Antithesis.
What is he saying? Huh?
Antithesis.
What is he saying? Can y'all help me? Can y'all just put it Can y'all just put it in the comments?
You know what the fuck I'm saying.
What is he saying?
Don't be
Link it with a
acting this
definition.
way. Antithesis.
What is he saying?
Fucking with me. See, that's that Leo fucking with
what
me.
What are you talking about?
The antithesis.
Okay. Antithesis.
What? Oh.
I didn't try to say it. You tried to say it. So I thought that was interesting. And the idea that, our relationships go through ease and flows. Again, the older I get, I'd be like, take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. No. What about you, Nirams? And you just don't have a ton either. Yeah. I know that sounds a little sad, but you just don't have a ton.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And, my thing now is just fostering relationships on like long-term friendships. And keeping my circle as tight as an Oreo.
Why?
I mean, tight as a Cheerio.
Well, that's hard for me. So we're going back to signs. So I really thrive off energy and people because I think community and social interactions are what human beings thrive off of. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay with everyone not being my best friend.
But you a Leo, so you be wanting people to approach you and shit.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I'll go to people.
That's what lions be doing. Come rub on me like a cat.
Nigga, who rubs a lion? That is not what you do.
Okay.
So Niram's really definitely about more close-knit, keep the circle tight. I don't mind a big group of folks. I just have the understanding that it's levels to it and everyone's not my best friend. Like, it's some people that I like to go to happy hour with. It's some people I like to have deep conversations with. It's work colleagues. Like, I'm okay with having all those varieties of different group circles.
But you always be trying to bring them together.
Yeah, why not?
And that's where it falls at. Versus me, I keep those friends in a circle.
Yeah.
If you the workout buddy, you don't get to hang out with the intellect buddy. Oh. It don't work that way.
I like to cross intermingle.
You stay workout, you stay intellect, you is motivational speaking buddy. Everybody got their little bucket.
I don't have buckets. I like to intermingle them all.
And that's why I usually have some problems.
All right, and the last thing of it I would say that he talked about was this idea of men shutting down emotions. And the example that he used was he knew that he had to work through shutting down his emotions and really see a therapist is when the stereotypical comment. So when you're in a hood or you're in a block and somebody stare at you so long And you be like, what the fuck is you looking at, my nigga?
Yeah.
Or black people just a whole, what the fuck is you looking at?
Yeah.
And the way he broke it down, he said through his therapy session is that his therapist was like, so are you scared that when they looking at you, they really see you? And he was like, what? He was like, do they really see your pain, vulnerability, how weak you are, and all these, imperfections? And that scare you. So the way to counteract that is to kind of, boss up and puff up your feathers. I said, come on. She done broke down the whole black archetype. Who is this therapist? Do you know, like,
Yeah.
So he went through that kind of whole process, and then this is where he really confirmed that he did cheat on Beyonce, and that making the music about his troubles was his form of therapy. Again, not only in this interview with the New York Times, he said he was shutting down his emotions. His quote was, "You have to survive, so you go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what happens? You shut down your emotions. So even with women, you're going to shut down emotionally, so you can't connect. In my case, like it's deep, and then all the things that happen from there, infidelity." He went on to describe how painful it was to reflect on the hurt that he caused. He said that most people walk away. Divorce rate is 50% or something like that, because most people can't see themselves. The hardest thing is seeing pain in someone else's face that you've caused, and you have to deal with it yourself. Most people don't want to deal with that. You don't want to look inside yourself, so you walk away. So first, unpacking this idea of emotionally shutting down in a relationship. What do you think about that?
Well, I was going to start with the idea of just men shutting down, and the fact that
women shut down too.
Yeah. Or they're shutting down in general and using that as a survival technique.
Yeah.
In order to get through whatever you need to get through.
How is that surviving? Oh my God. I wish I could emotionally shut down. I feel like I emotionally turn up.
You do.
Explain. Do you emotionally shut down?
Yes, you know I do.
How?
Well, how or why?
Oh shit. Okay. Both. Help me.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I give an example. So when I'm talking to Nia has this thing, like, when he's looking for advice, he's like, all right, now I need you to work a little bit more. So I don't need you to give me typical emotionalness
answers.
I don't need emotionless. I need
emotion field
Niram. So can you give that? Can you go into your tank to find the hurt and pain to give me an emotion field answer?
Yeah.
Because my go-to,
is.
my life is just emotionless.
Yeah.
I would think. What you think?
Of you or me?
Of me.
I think so. But like I said before, I admire how Niram's able to take emotion out of the situation. I can't take emotion out of it. And I think a lot of times folks talk to me, they be like, oh, you're taking it's personal, you're doing X and Y and Z. I'm like, well, shit, I'm a human. Yes, it's going to be personal. Like, other shit's going to go into it. But Niram be like, this is what it is. This is how I feel. These are the options. Let me know by this date.
Yeah.
If you can't know by this date, this is not going to work for me no more. Look, I'm assuming that we're done.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the way that I was brought up. Like, on the east side of Detroit, I keep saying that I witnessed niggas die.
Yeah.
Like, I witnessed niggas get killed and me having to move outside the hood because niggas was looking for me. Like, I seen my brother's dead body when he committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a combination of, like, all these other things that has happened in my life that, to bring up emotion just does not make it better. So instead of doing any of that, I just have no emotion.
How do you process through it, though?
I don't know. I think that's the hard thing, because even when people are like, well, how do you feel about it? And it's like, well, I really don't have a feeling about it. It just is what it is. It's like, do you feel happy or sad or mad or anything like that? And it's like, no, not really. Like, it just is what it is. So, like, my typical coping mechanism is like, no emotion.
No emotion.
So even if it's bad news, it's good news, like whatever, it's usually
you're unimpressed.
I wouldn't say unimpressed, and like and even like I even had where like I've got promotions with jobs or things of that sort. It's like, are you excited about it? And it's like, yeah, I'm excited about it. It's like, well, you don't seem like it. Like, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's more or less the hard part, is that until you truly get me, you'll know that it's all the other traumas that I've been through, and it's not y'all, it's just me.
Yeah. Ooh, come on. What I was about to say, you threw me off. But I think I'm the opposite, so I don't have much to say about this. So I throw emotion into it, prior to the fault.
Yeah.
Well, I start going through everything and say how I feel and what I process, and some stuff is just not meant to be said. And as I'm getting older, I'm learning that everything's not meant to be said, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you can kind of move on with that. But how do you think that ties it to infidelity?
How I think it ties into infidelity is that, you know, you take the emotion out of it, so you don't even.
It's not a relationship. Yeah.
You don't even see
Your wrongdoing.
your wrongdoing or that person. Only thing you see is like, I'm having sex or I'm having relations outside of whatever, and you take out the whole part of like
Almost
how
make it logical.
yeah, it's more or less logical. Like, oh, she getting on my nerves. This shit ain't working out. So let me go ahead and do this so we can end this.
Oh, you think it's a subconscious?
Yeah, I think it's more or
Way to
less
get
a subconscious thing to get out that, you know, whether or not there was a part of their relationship where they wasn't happy, and he's like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, I need to get out this shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the ways I can get out of this shit is to, you know, to have this infidelity. And then, you know, once you see the repercussions of that, then you have to be like, oh shit, like I really fucked up.
Yeah.
Or like,
sorry.
yeah. Like, oh, I fucked up. Or, you know.
Or demeaning the other person, say it was a big deal. What the fuck?
Or I see how much emotion has brought to you.
That's the piece that he got to me. He said the part that he knew that it was going to work in his marriage to move forward was that he had to face the hurt that he caused on his family and his wrongdoing in that.
Yeah.
And owning that. And going through that. That is a different level of it. Of really saying, what did I do to cause this?
And I think with being like an emotionless individual, you really don't see or face like the wrongdoing, because most of the times you don't think there's no wrongdoing. Or you try to put yourself in situations where you're not doing the wrongdoing anyway, and it's the other people where you just need to cut off.
Yeah.
But to actually see that your actions cause, you know, this other person's wrongdoing, and to see their relation, you know, to see their reactions and their emotions from it does have a reaction to you, because the last thing you want is to cause emotions on anybody else.
Yeah. And you got to own it that you did it. And then that goes back to that there is some emotion there, right? That you are human. That emotion does exist, that it is working for it and navigating through.
Exactly. So, and I think my emotionless, you know, it's a plus, because when it comes to like tough conversations or ultimatums or whatever, I can just be like, hey, this need to happen, or what you did is not cool, and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
And be done with that. Like, what you did is not cool.
Yeah.
And
I'm very good at that.
I just don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
And moving on.
I think you'll be a really good father, because you're able to say that as the kid and not put the emotion into it.
Yes.
I'd be like, oh, why would you disappoint
But
Mom?
versus Nyambi, she got to tell you all the historical background and how it made her feel and all the other things, her thought process, all that. And I'm like, well, I don't need all that. None of it matter. What you did, you know, what you did is not cool.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate that.
Yeah.
How we can move forward for that.
Yeah.
Don't do it again. Or yeah.
That's where the ultimatum comes. So I don't know. I just truly did appreciate that interview and that transparency. But I think it was just a powerful statement when he was like, I had to own what I did to hurt my family. And I think that's a key in any relationship. So, you know, we're talking about, this is infidelity, right? But we're talking about everything.
Yeah.
So every part of a relationship, good and bad times, both people play a fault at it. Right? So if you're in an argument or something goes down, I think both people play a role in it. No one's scot-free or perfect in the situation. Even when we talk about infidelity. So I think the person who cheated was wrong. I also think the person who did, like, it's something everybody fucked up.
Yeah. Everybody played a role in it.
And I thought that was bold. And the last thing that he kind of talked about was that him and Beyonce was writing this album together, and then it transformed to Lemonade and 444. Can we get them tracks leaked?
Exactly.
Can we get that a title exclusive, Jay?
Something.
Can we get those?
Because
it had to be good angry music.
They probably gonna release this after Jay get done with the 444 tour.
They can go ahead and
this is what Beyonce might be
working on.
Finishing up the album, her parts for it.
Yeah, because she said, I am doing Lemonade. I don't have time to lay vocals.
Because it seemed like Jay-Z was doing his stuff, and then Beyonce bounced.
Yeah.
And started doing 444.
Lemonade.
Oh, yeah, Lemonade.
Yeah.
So, and then Jay-Z was like, oh, shit, well, since she did Lemonade, I need to start working on this 444.
Yeah.
But his ass was like, oh, I thought we was doing.
That's why he was waking up at 4:44 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because they done set up studio times. And mind you, the house they live in, she didn't show up. She on the couch watching Sex in the City.
Because she done did Lemonade. So that's what it seemed like. What happened is that they was doing this joint project, and Beyonce abandoned it and went
It was like, I'm done.
Create Lemonade.
I'm all set.
So she might be doing, that's why she might be in the studio now doing these songs with people, because her ass in the studio finishing up this joint album.
Come on.
That would be dope.
And the thing is, stuff like this has been done, but it's never done by couples. So I think it was Tony Braxton and Babyface had like Love, Hate, and Divorce or something like that. Or Friendship, Love, Hate, and something like that. Or Love After Divorce or some shit like that. Where like both of them talked about them going like, not to each other of course, but their process of loving, going through divorce, hating, and running to relove again. So I think coming from a perspective of a couple who's done it, wow, that'd be bold. All right, I guess we talked enough about that. Kitchen Table Talk.
Yeah, we got some.
So, as always, to submit your Kitchen Table Talk, Sis Bro Cuz, you can submit the questions to blacklovematters@gmail.com. Remember, that's blacklovematters@gmail.com. That's black with no K. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 508-784-1111. That's 508-784-1111. This one's not really a question. It's like a combination of things. So, we had a few folks ask us like about therapy and what's our experience with therapy. So what we're going to do is just talk a little bit about that with y'all. We thought that would be timely, especially since Jay-Z said therapy was so imperative to kind of his growth, his process, and moving forward. We thought that'd be a nice little tie-in to put a little bow in this episode. Sounds good? Yeah. So you want me to go first, Junior?
You can go first.
So I think therapy is amazing. I've been seeing a therapist for the last, what would you say, 3 to 4 years? Anywhere from a weekly basis to twice a month to once a month, kind of going up and down. Just depends on where I'm at emotionally in life. But I would say it's just been a lifesaver, especially this year. Jesus be offense. This year was rough. Jesus, yoga, green juice, prayer, and therapist got me through it. But I'm making it to 2018.
Don't forget Namaste.
And Namaste on the couch. Y'all just some hating Negroes. You hear me? But I would think it's great. So, you know, my therapist is a Black woman. It was very important for me to see myself and my therapist. So ever having a white person or a white woman be my therapist wasn't an option. I did a lot of Google searches, a lot of, I really didn't ask for any recommendations, but I did a lot of searches. I know something I always look for is a therapist with a website.
That's why it's always good for y'all small businesses to have a website. If you're not tech
savvy enough to have a website, you're not tech savvy enough for me. Like, I need to be able to communicate with you, pay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I did the website, and things I really looked about is kind of their, I don't know what their jargon is, but like their theory of practice, right? So how they believe therapy should be, what it looks like, how do you navigate through? And I always look for a therapist that shows that. So I was looking for someone who appreciated what culture brings to it, appreciate life experiences, maybe hopefully had a few life experiences themselves, meaning just being a Black person in America, you're going to need some form of a life experience, right? And just doing that. And also I was looking for someone, I wasn't looking for necessarily a problem solver. So I wasn't looking for like a coach, a life coach. So I wasn't looking for a therapist that was going to be like, all right, so next week we're going to do, like, I was really looking for someone to bounce ideas off of, to help me articulate my thoughts, to help me put words to things I haven't had, to listen, to validate, to invalidate. Like, that's really what I was looking for. I was looking for an unbiased ear to be like, nah, you bullshit. And like, look, you're stretching. Like, I was really looking for that, and I did find that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. Like, I think that's something people don't tell you about therapy. Therapy is hard. Like, it's not easy. It's not what it is like in the movies when you just go and lay on the couch and start crying. Like, no. I think it took me 6 to 8 months for me to even open up. I caught myself like I was interviewing. Like, when she would ask me questions, I'd be like, nope, and I do this and this and that. And it's like, well, bitch, if you, and she never said this, thank you, because she's a great therapist. Because she's like, well, bitch, if you got it all together, why the fuck is you here? Because that's what Nyambi would have said. The Nyambi school of thought. Well, bitch, it looks like you got it down. Go back to journaling. But it's just really, I think the hard part was knowing how to break the walls down and being consistent in therapy. Because sometimes when you feel good, you're like, well, I feel good. I ain't going back. And then when you don't go back and then you hit a buff spot,
you be like, damn,
I got to go back. And then it's hard to go back. Then you kind of starting from scratch. So I think it's really about that consistency and being, thorough. It was hard for me to cry in therapy. I think it took me like a year or so to cry in therapy. I'm still not a big crier in therapy, but I think it's something that it does help purge the soul.
Nyambi cries in the closet.
I am a closet crier. And also with therapy, we also did couples counseling too. But I always tell folks, I think it's important to do individual counseling before you do couples counseling. So I think it's important to know thine own self. Know thine own self before you go, trying to bring a unit or a couple into this, right? But I would just say it's something that it's been beneficial, and every time it's different. So I also remember early on in my sessions, I would just talk about work. Work, outside things, nothing really personal and family, and eventually it got to the personal family thing. So knowing that's a process, it's not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in a month. It might not happen in a year, but it's really about that long term, building your self-care regimen and building that kind of that toolkit of things you can do and say. And it helped me recognize cycles that I had. So it helped me recognize the cycles that I go through. It helped me recognize the things that I was triggered by. It helped me be able to think deeper. It helped me be more compassionate. It made me be more empathetic. It made me be more intentional about the words I say and how I move them. It made me realize how powerful no is. It made me, all these things. So I think it's just been a great experience overall. Nero?
Man, we got rave reviews.
What do you mean? What shit?
So I've been going through therapy like off and on throughout life.
Yeah, so that's the other thing I should know. I just started. I've never had therapy before.
So it started when I was 10. My brother committed suicide. And, going through some years of therapy then and having to go through like forms of anger management and things of that sort during high school and, having a therapist then. And then recently, I would say in the last 10 so years, going to therapy with you. So starting off with couples therapy and then, having my own individual therapist. And I think one of the things is you almost got to go like, I don't want to say like used car salesmen, but you got
to test them out. I just got
lucky. You
got
to test them out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you got to test drive them out.
Because they aren't created equal. Sometimes you get a lemon.
Yes.
Like a hoopty don't drive like a Cadillac.
No.
Come on.
Because I had this white therapist. She was a white woman. And she had me doing all types of shit. Spoons or looking at a light, going back and forth. And I was just like,
this is me. No, ma'am.
And she's like, do you feel anything from the past? And I'm like, nope.
No.
This shit ain't working, sis. And just going through the stuff of like telling her my past and like trying to process it and her ass crying. Like, why are you crying?
That rolls my eyes. I be want to pack my purse up and go.
And then she got to get the tissue box on my side of the room because she out here boo-hooing.
Yeah.
Talking about that must have been a rough thing you had to go through.
What about that white man you had?
And then I had a white gay man who...
Niram is way more open to things. I'm not. I want a black sister between the ages of 30 and 63.
But it's,
I'm very clear.
As hard as it was for you to find
it took me longer, though. It took me longer. Niram was able to find... Niram could find a therapist in 30 minutes. It took me months to find her.
But that's because I'm willing to talk to a fly on the wall.
I'm not.
So, it's hard if it was for you to find a black woman in therapy out here in white-ass New England.
And I found her, honey.
It's even harder to find a black man. Because you even think about it now, like, it's more women in college than men. So, even a pool of... men between the ages of 30 and 45, doing therapy, it's like few and far between. So I got to just get creative.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me go with this.
The white gay guy might have been good, though. But I think,
I had to go with the white gay guy, and he understood like some of the things of like
his
him being gay and things of that sort.
But he's still a white man.
But he's still a white man. Yeah. So some of the other things I was going through, he didn't see it because he couldn't look past his white privilege.
Yeah.
And his thing was, I had to let his ass go because he was kept adopting babies. Kept on these black babies.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk to me about his black children.
And I said, I don't want to talk to you about your black kid. I'm here for my
black
process.
Kid issues.
And my issues.
You take a note to make sure his black kids don't go through it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, nigga, I'm paying you to learn from me.
Yeah, and he trying to get tips.
Like,
where you get your hair cut, Nero?
Right.
You getting tips from him.
Little...
I'm for real. I know when he said it. I kind of rolled my eyes like, not today.
Why you want to know where I get my hair cut?
So he can take his black son.
So he can go take his black son there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, definitely when I was thinking about looking for therapy or finding a therapist, you got to try them out like used cars.
Yeah, and be willing to say no, thank you.
You got to go on, test drive, and sometimes
and know when to pull the keyhole. I'm paying you.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
And threaten to leave a bad review.
Where's
your manager?
If they got a website.
Psychology today. I talked to one psychologist cut crazy bitch. I was like, I will scatter your name on this internet. Don't do that. And no, I ain't paying you.
Mm-hmm.
But
so I would say that's more or less my main thing from it is that it's a little bit easier for me because I'm willing to talk to a fly on the wall. and you not, because you were like, well, I got this guard up, and it's more or less my job to just talk to complete strangers.
Yeah.
And just put my business out there. So
But
I
it's
just
worth
do
the
it.
fight. It's like finding a partner.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you're going to go through a couple of duds to get to one you like.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know when you like them because it'll click.
Yeah, we'll definitely click.
It'll be fluid.
Yeah, I think your therapist is cool people.
Yeah. You just enough. Like that's it's what I'm looking for. Like, you know, I'm not looking for another mama. Like, I'm not looking for folks to tell me what to do. I just need like I need a sounding board. I need something neutral, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I hope that helped a little. If y'all want, maybe we can have episodes on, what it looks. Y'all want my Google searches? I don't know. Keywords I put in.
Black therapists.
These are looking.
Black
the National
therapists.
Association of Black Therapists, honey, shout out to them. Like, it's ways to kind of look at, y'all know.
Black therapists in your city. Start there.
Yeah, that's what you look. And just go. And also for folks who can't necessarily afford it, sometimes there's group therapy, there's like multicultural centers. And a lot of folks, especially people of color, they have sliding scales, but you got to be upfront, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, because they rates be at least $200 an hour if you don't have no insurance, right? But
Right.
seeing who have they, and sometimes they'll meet you like once a month or a couple times a month
Right.
for like 50 or so bucks if you're, to do that. So open yourself up to it. Even if you feel like you're feeling good, just to go in and talk with someone, I think it's beneficial.
Right.
All righty, great episode, Nero.
Yeah, it was. So to submit your question, first of all, to submit your Black Love story, go to Black Love Matters at Gmail. No, I didn't fuck that all up. I know. It's long. So to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com/love story. To submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk, go to blacklovematters.com. blacklovematters@gmail.com. To leave a comment about anything that we talked about, go to blacklovematters.com or on SoundCloud, or you can leave us a voicemail at 508-784-1111. That's 508-784-1111. Talk to you guys later, and remember, love is ever evolving.
Peace.
Oh. No. Miami don't give me no love.
Oh, sorry. Love is ever evolving.
Oh, okay.
Peace.